Yeah, look at this. The latest AP NORC poll shows President Biden with the highest approval rating in its polling so far. 63% of Americans surveyed approve of the president's job performance so far, up 2 points from last month. 36% disapprove. His highest ratings continue to come from his handling of the nation's most pressing issues. 71% approve of how he's dealing with the pandemic, including 47% of Republicans. 57% give him high marks on the economy, though the survey was conducted before Friday's dismal jobs report. The president's weak spot is still on the issue of immigration. 54% disapprove. And the poll showed an uptick in American optimism. 54% say the country is on the right track, the highest since 2017.
Yeah.
So, Joe, I mean, these numbers are pretty amazing, and I guess some would say, okay, what are they based on? Are they based on his handling of the coronavirus? Is it the checks that people have received that could be causing some challenges for the economy to get back on track? A lot of people see it as soaring, but there are large sectors of this country where people are still suffering mightily. And he was trying to address that, but will it ultimately bring us there?
Yeah, you look at polls, and there always is, in my mind, an asterisk. I remember the polls showing him up 20 points in Wisconsin the weeks before the election. These numbers, though, are very dramatic. I must say, measured against what I've seen and heard anecdotally over the past several months from dozens of people that I've known, friends and family members and others that voted for Donald Trump. I've yet to meet or talk to one person that voted for Donald Trump that said, yeah, that was a mistake. I don't think I'm going to vote for him next. I really still believe if the election were held tomorrow, instead of 75 million votes, Donald Trump might get 74,997,000 votes, only because we are so entrenched. And yet, Elizabeth, you look at these numbers, and if they're to be believed, we're seeing a president with approval ratings that we haven't seen in a very long time. And the number that really is fascinating is the right track, wrong track number, 54 to 44. It's just not something in all of our years doing this on Morning Joe, we haven't, I don't think, in our 12, 13, 14 years very often shown a right track, wrong track as positive as that one.
Well, it's so striking from where it was just a year ago with Donald Trump. And it happened so quickly. But obviously, it's because the pandemic is easing across the United States. A third of the country is vaccinated. The economy is picking up despite the jobs numbers last week. So it's not surprising that many Americans, 54%, have a sense of optimism. It's going to be very hard to get those Trump supporters to have a sense of optimism. But it's what I've said for a long time. Come 2022 in the fall, if the pandemic is under control, if the economy is doing well as we expect it to be doing, I'm a little befuddled about what Republicans are going to say. I guess they'll go after Biden on immigration, but it's a hard one. It's kind of why they're using these culture war arguments and again it's immigration. But I do think it's going to be hard for Republicans in the fall of 2022, despite what's probably going to happen in the House. But I just see that there's a sense. I feel a sense of optimism about the country after a very long, hard 2020 and it's a very long, hard winter.
So, Eugene Daniels, if you look at Biden's approval on handling of the pandemic, it's 71%. So there's your answer to the question of where the 63% approval number is coming. That 63 is very high compared to other numbers we've seen, mostly down into the 50s. But he's doing well on the pandemic. He's doing well on the economy and health care. Upside down on immigration is the only place, and gun policy. He's pretty evenly split there in terms of approval. As Elizabeth said, it's a contrast, frankly, when you look at the right track, wrong track to the previous administration. Things were going so poorly, the country was in such chaos on January 6th and on January 20th that perhaps a sense of calm has washed over some voters.
No, absolutely. And that's kind of what the right track and the, how are you feeling about the country comes from, right? Like people feel a little bit calmer, right? You're not seeing what we saw when President Trump was in office, and people are, and at the same time, government seems to be working for people. That's what they're telling us. That's what they're telling pollsters. They started out this year. Everyone was really scared still. We had this vaccine. We didn't know how we were going to get it. Fast forward more than 100 days later, the vaccine rollout by measurements of health experts and people that concentrate on this all the time, they tell us it's gone really well. You add this, the fact that 12 to 15-year-olds can now get the vaccine. It's widely available. All of those things, and the idea that the economy, though, the jobs report on Friday wasn't exactly what the administration wanted to see or what anyone wanted to see, people feel like things are moving in the right direction. And the thing is, that doesn't happen in a vacuum. So you talk about the fact that Republicans seem like their house is not really in order right now. And I think that also leads people to think that, okay, well, it's really drama free over here. So that makes me feel really good about Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. And Joe Biden promised to bring that calm back to the White House, back to Washington, D.C. And that's what we've been seeing for the last 3 months. And I think that his issue is going to be, can he get this infrastructure deal done? What's it look like? All of those things are what we're watching to see how those numbers change, because there's only so much time that you can kind of ride high on how well he's been doing with the pandemic, because at some point the pandemic will be over and we will move into infrastructure, and he will have to be more proactive in the way that he operates as president. I think that's where Republicans are hoping there will be more slip-ups, but this is a person who wants to find a bipartisan deal, at least one on infrastructure, whether that's they just focus on the roads and the bridges, but that's something that they want to do. So it doesn't seem like this is a White House who's going to take their foot off the gas at any point at all, because they see these numbers as well.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.